And that's what I did today. It's good that I did it because we got 2 days off. If you don't know, we only work Monday through Friday. Saturdays and Sundays, we basically take off. Sometimes we might do a little filibuster, a little fill in or something like that just to do something. But majority, Monday through Fridays, we take off. That's how we do it. So we're getting close to the mark, man. We're getting close to the 10K mark. We're almost there. We're almost at 10K, man. See, you gotta have the niche. The niche you got. See, I have a unique situation because it just so happens the things that I like, the things that I talk about, the things that I'm into, I've been into them ever since I was a kid. So that's the beauty about this, That's the beauty of it is that a lot of people are into the same things that I'm into. And yes, it's a slow process, but then once it gets to going, you just do what you do. Like me, I just do what I do. Do the things that I normally do every single day. And a lot of people are, they like it. A lot of people in the world are into what's going on around the world as far as, what affects us. The real things that affect us. We got to understand that, some things that we think about and worry about absolutely has nothing to do with our everyday lives. It absolutely has nothing to do with our kids and our grandkids' upbringing. So it just so happened that the things that I'm really, really interested in, most people are, thinking like I'm thinking. You might have different views, but we all basically just think alike. But what we got to understand is that this conflict or what was going on right now. See, a lot of people just now finding out about these kind of things with the development of the internet. Shout out to the internet. Shout out to the creators of the internet. It gives a lot of information, but the older people, like I say all the time, really live that. And what we got to understand, even me, that this was going on between Iran and America. The system of America is bigger than Donald Trump. The system of America, is beliefs, right? And foundations is really what this is all about. It really is. If you really, really know, it's a lot going on. But the thing that we must understand, as I take a walk over here, the thing that we must understand is that Iran and all those countries, the big leverage that they kept over us is oil, right? That's how a lot of those deals were being made. Because we wonder, okay, this conflict with Iran been going on since the Kennedys. Very long time ago. Over 40, 50 years, right? And the thing is that America has been letting it go because the access to the oil and the exchange of weapons. A lot of these deals are an exchange of oil and weapons. In other words, just kick it down. We ain't not worried about our problems. We're gonna exchange when it comes to money and power, money and wealth. As long as we get money out of it, we're gonna kick the problems that we have, we're gonna kick it down. But the thing about Iran and these other countries is that their system is different than America. America, we change presidents every 4 years or every 8 years. But the thing about, as we got 79 people in the building, the thing about Iran and a lot of these countries overseas is that they presidents and they leaders be in power for 20 and 30 years. We have to understand that. So it's deep. You know what I'm saying? They beliefs are deep. Beliefs are generational. They beliefs are religion. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to understand. And the thing is, with that Ayatollah, the one that just got killed, it's a lot, Chad. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I could go on and on talking about the foundation of America Hey, what's up, chat? The foundation of America and also the religious beliefs and not beliefs of Iran is deep. You know, if you know the history of Ayatollah, you know what I'm talking about. You know, it was a disagreement way long time ago, back in the 50s and 60s. You know, because somebody say, well, you know, Ayatollah, which is the old leader of Iran, the one that got eliminated. You know, the one that everybody been talking about. Well, we was having a discussion, and the guy told me, well, hey man, don't you know that Ayatollah, that the leader of Iran, he like supported black people, right? And then I had to let him know, you got to understand something. The only reason why that he let those black hostages go is for one reason. You got to think about the past, right? Back in the 50s, back in the 40s, back in the 60s. Well, here in America, we were going through what is called civil rights. You know what I'm saying? So at that particular time, you know, when Ayatollah was young and they was fighting over who was going to control Iran, America was going through something, you know, which is called the civil rights movement. So shout out to Jesse Jackson. So appreciate the guy who said that. So now I gotta break it down. Shout out to Jesse Jackson. Okay, he's correct. You know, out of those hostages that Iran, out of those American hostages in Iran, you know what I'm saying? I think 3 or 4 of them was black. And the Ayatollah, which is the guy who got off the dad to the son, well, he let the black Americans go. Well, only reason why he let them go is because he knew that those, at that particular time, we're not talking about after the civil rights movement and how blacks are being treated and we're getting treated equal and all that. We're talking about the 50s. We're talking about in the 60s. You know, we're talking about when Jesse Jackson was trying to run for president. Also, Donald Trump was supporting Jesse Jackson back then. We got to understand that. So back to this. Only reason why those hostages got released is because the great Jesse Jackson, may he rest in peace, who was known by a lot of world leaders. Jesse Jackson was a very popular guy around the world for his philanthropy, meaning he was going around, you know, feeding the kids, you know, overseas, you know. And what happened was Jesse Jackson, because he had a relationship with them, he reached out, right? And he told the Ayatollah, the one that got killed in the war, the big leader, the old man. Well, he told the old man, he said, hey, you know what I'm saying? There's really no reason for you to be holding those black hostages. You know why? Because at that particular time, in the 40s and the 50s, remember that was right around the civil rights movement. Black people was getting treated a certain type of way. So what Jesse Jackson was a brilliant idea. He went and told that man, he said, look, you got 3 black hostages. Black people is not they ain't worrying about black people that much. So man, please let the black hostages go, because at that particular time, America really didn't care about, you know, they didn't really care about black people. I'm just keeping it real back then. Anybody that know anything about that, segregation and all that, you know what I'm saying? There was a time when we was coming out of segregation. And the thing is, Jesse Jackson went over there and talked to Ayatollah through conversation. If you know anything about Jesse Jackson, he was a great communicator. So he went over there and he talked to the Ayatollah and he told him, look, man, they don't care, meaning the system of America, don't care about those black hostages. So you got them for absolutely no reason. That's the only reason why the Ayatollah got rid of those hostages, Chad. It's not because he feel any kind of love for black people. That's not why. Of course, he's going to say that to try to make it look good. But the only reason why he got rid of those 3 hostages that were black is because they was not valuable to America. That's the only reason. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only reason. So you have to know the history. And the thing about this, a lot of people don't like the war. Okay, let me ask y'all, I'm gonna ask you this. Do you like the freedom of vote? The freedom to vote. Do you like the freedom to vote? As a woman, do you like freedom as a woman? Meaning that you ain't a slave to a man? Don't you like to wear your hair long? You don't want your hair all covered up? Don't you want to have the freedom of speech? You know, so it's a lot of things, you know, that those people stand for, right? That we stand for, that's the whole reason why all this is going on. It's all about freedom. And I got to keep telling y'all that. It's about freedom. It's about what we're able to do as Americans. And those people hate that. Why do they hate that, Stock Sniper? Like I keep saying, the reason why they hate it is because they don't want their people, like it's all about religion, right? If you know anything about the Quran, you know what the Quran, I'll be talking all day, man, if I go in about the Quran. But the Quran has certain principles, you know what I'm saying? In those countries, they want to live by those principles. And if it's against those principles, you in their opinion, you going against God. That's just what it is. So it's about a lot of different things, man. This stuff is deep. This goes back further than Kennedy in the presidency. I keep telling y'all that this stuff is deep. It's deeper than Donald Trump. Well, why didn't no other president take action? Well, no other president took action because Iran is using oil as leverage. Like right now, Iran is using the oil as leverage. That's what's going on. They're going to keep that Strait of Hormuz all locked up because they think that by them doing that, that's going to make America do like all the presidents been doing. Make a deal. We're going to give y'all the oil and y'all give us weapons or whatever the case may be in return. That's exactly what's going on. They're trying to use that oil as leverage, guys. And we got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't going to understand that this thing is really, 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 really deep. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than Donald Trump. This is generations and generations of morals and principles and different leaders in different countries trying to force their way of life on another country. That's what it's really all about. You know what I'm saying? Because once those people overseas see the freedoms that we got the freedom of speech. We got the freedom to vote. A woman don't have to be all wrapped up in America if they don't want to. You know what I'm saying? And according to them, according to their beliefs, is that is how it's supposed to go according to their biblical beliefs. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's deep. It's really, 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 really deep. Because one thing for sure, and two things is for certain, is when those people get the taste of American democracy, which is what partially the thing is going on. Once those people get a taste of American democracy, meaning they got the right to vote, they got the right to freedom of speech, they got the right to go certain places, similar to what black people went through back in the 40s and the 30s and all that civil rights. Basically the same thing. You know what I'm saying? The democracy, you know what I'm saying, of a country. They like what we got going on over here. They love it, chat. You know what I'm saying? And they want to come over here and be a part of this, you know? But those people over there, they believe that women should dress a certain way. Women shouldn't be able to work. You know what I'm saying? They believe in those things. And if you are on this chat or you've been coming across here and you think that whatever's going on is not right, you have to really understand what's going on. It's deep. It's deep. If you like your right to vote, if you like your right to be able to wear your hair down or study whatever religion you want to study, you know what I'm saying? If you like the right to speak your mind, if you're a woman, if you want to have the right to go out and make an income, you know what I'm saying? They right now in 2026, Chad, They don't want women to vote. They don't want women to be a doctor. They don't want women to be a lawyer. They don't want women to do none of those things. They only want women to do one thing. And we already know what that is. You know what I'm saying? And American democracy, you know what I'm saying, is 1,000% against that. And guess what's going on? Because they've been hearing how America is ran. They want that over there too. You know what I'm saying? Them women want to be able to show their body. They want to be able to listen to their favorite rapper. They want to be able to go to the basketball game. You know what I'm saying? They want to, as an example, they want to be able to go to school and become a doctor or a nurse. Shout out to all the nurses. They want to be able to do those things. They want to be able to come to a nice area like this, right? They want to be able to come to a nice area like this and express their opinion and sit down right here and chill if they want to. They want to be able to go over there and go ride the boat. They want to be able to do those things, but they can't. You know what I'm saying? And it's all because a system and the foundation of what they believe in, and it has a lot to do with religion. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that's been going on since the 50s. It's been going on a very long time. And that's what we got to realize. In other words, this is deeper than Donald Trump, bro. It's deeper than Donald Trump. And that's what we got to realize. It's deeper than Donald Trump as we come on 16 minutes on the walk down. But the thing is, this is the big question. Will America break down and let it end this and take the oil and whatever they trying to be able to let the oil come through? You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about right now. It's really it's down to the meat and potatoes. You know what I'm saying? Is that oil gonna be able to sway us back and pulling out, or are we gonna go all the way to the gusto and ride it till the wheels fall off? That's the big question right now. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, this is my personal opinion. What I've been saying the last 20 minutes is facts. Now I'm finna say my opinion. My opinion is it's not gonna stop. That's my personal opinion. It's not gonna stop. So to be honest with you, we finna see what Donald Trump is made of. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people's like, man, you know, the price of oil going up. You know, the American people is starting to really feel it. We already on shaky grounds. You know what I'm saying? Like I talked about the other day. We already on shaky grounds. You know what I'm saying? And see, the thing is that if you really think about it, those people overseas, all they care about is their religion and what they believe in. And they'll let everything go down over there. You know what I'm saying? Before they give in. And guess what? They know the main leverage that they got is the oil. That's their leverage right now. Everything is focused on the Strait of Hormuz and the flow of the oil. That's the whole point right there. That oil is more valuable than gold. Oil, liquid gold, its value is got a hell of a value price on it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, that focus right there on the Strait of Hormuz, these next 3 days is going to be real crucial because everything happens over the weekend. That's why we had a big sell-off in the stock market today. All the short sellers, congratulations. You made money on the market pulling back. Because if you don't know, you can make money on the stock market if it goes up or if it goes down. If you didn't know, I just told you an ancient secret that nobody really want to talk about. But you're going to hear about it over here. So I appreciate y'all for joining. We 19 minutes in. Yesterday I went for an hour. I can't go for an hour today. But the reason why I'm talking about the same subject, because people got to understand what's really going on. You gotta know what's happening. You gotta listen to the OG. You gotta understand what's going on. It's deeper than Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? We gotta understand that. It's very deep. A lot of different layers to this apple. You know what I'm saying? And you have to really understand. In other words, you have to think long term. You have to know long term, not short term. Yes, short term, we're going to feel some things, but a lot of things got to change. You know what I'm saying? And the other element to that is the nuclear weapons. You know, that's the other element. You know what I'm saying? That nobody really wants to talk about. But the reason why I ain't bringing about the nuclear weapons today is because all that goes back to the foundation, what I've been talking about the past 20 minutes. It's deep. It's deeper. It's deep. It's deeper than the Pacific River. That's what we got to understand. It's deep. You know, so after all this is over, we'll be able to analyze what's going to happen on the other side. But the thing is, a lot of us ain't going to be able to analyze it because we might not see the real effects of what's going on for about 15 years. We might not feel the real effects of it till about 15 years. So the main thing is, make sure you pay attention to the details. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, what are your beliefs? What do you believe in? You know what I'm saying? What do you stand for? You know, wherever you at, what do you stand for? A lot of people want American democracy. A lot of these countries want American democracy, cat. You know what I'm saying? And the evidence of that is that everybody want to come to America. Everybody want a piece of the land and of the land of milk and honey. Everybody wants freedom. You know, and that's what we got to understand. Everybody wants freedom. Everybody wants to come over here and live this life. You know, as they call it, the West. Everybody wants to live the American dream, and they love democracy. That's a famous word, and that's basically what democracy is. It's an American agenda. It's a Western agenda. You know, and a lot of countries, and it's the main thing. You might say, well, why they're so against it? It because they're using religion, right? They're using religion. And they're saying that way of living is against God. That's what they're saying. It's called extreme terrorism. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it means. And in their view, if they westernize their country, that their religion is going down the drain. That's exactly what it means. So that's why they're gonna defend their morals and principles of what they believe in biblically, and they believe that they are defending God. Basically, that's what it means. And they will do any and everything to defend it. That's even build nuclear weapons to strike any Western country that's about democracy. We got to understand that. Anatola having this war against democracy way before he was the president. We got to understand that. If you don't know, I just got through talking about the hostages. Go back and do your research on the 51 hostages. 3 of them were black that I was talking about earlier. 3 of them was black. And the great Jesse Jackson had those 3 black people released. So the hostages, this war been going on since before I was born. That's what y'all got to understand. You have to understand that. Wait, hold up. Veracity City, you just became a member of the channel. Appreciate you for becoming a member of the channel. We appreciate you. We got 228 people in the building. We got 228 people in the building. This is what I want all y'all to realize. All y'all to realize this. You might not understand it, but what's been going on is bigger than Donald Trump. Take it from the OG. This been going on since before I was alive. Go research Anatola. Anatola's dad. Like I said, this stuff is generational. You know, we talk about every 4 years or every 8 years. No, they talk about generations. Like right now, the Anatola got unalived, right? The Anatola's dad was the president. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Not the Anatola. The guy that the Anatola was against. So a lot of y'all might know who I'm talking about. But the president, the leader of Iran, before Anatola, he was friends with America. That's why I say it's deep. You know what I'm saying? The guy that Ayatollah took over, when Ayatollah took control of Iran, right? The person that he took the throne from was friends with the West. We got to understand it's deep, and I'll be here all day if I explain this. But I explain it as simple as I can. Is that this thing is bigger than Donald Trump. We have to understand that. It's about religion. It's about a system. It's about a way of life. It's about a lot of different things. This is bigger than Donald Trump. You know, we have to understand that. You got to realize that. You know, and it take time and it take focus to understand. The average American, especially in 2026, it's hard to comprehend what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But you have to study these type of countries and what they believe in and how they run their country, and you know, and they religious beliefs. When it comes to people, when it comes to women, you know what I'm saying? You have to understand their religious beliefs. You know, like my mama and my dad used to tell me, it's a lot of people that are hide behind the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like they say the preachers these days in America, they take the Bible and then they know how to speak. So they tell it to the people in the way they want you to understand it. In other words, hide behind the Bible. That's basically as simple as I can put it. And then you use your power and you use your communication skills to manipulate a whole group of people to get them to interpret the Bible, the Holy Quran, etc., 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 to what they want you to believe it is. In other words, they want to play on our intelligence. That's how it works. And see, these days, this was so powerful about 2020, 2015, after 2000, is that a lot of people don't have the foundation of the fundamentals of knowing these things. You know, a lot of people, especially in America, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people didn't have the proper mentors. A lot of people didn't have these type of conversations in their house. A lot of people, Chad, some people didn't even know. I've talked to people since I've been, you know, a lot of people been coming over here and rocking with me. A lot of people didn't even know who Jesse Jackson was. A lot of people didn't even know Jesse Jackson had died. A lot of people didn't know that. So that only lets me know that a lot of people are disconnected to not only the history of America, but the history of what's been going on around the world. A lot of people, in other words, Chad, a lot of people didn't go to history class. A lot of people didn't go to social. A lot of people didn't go to political science class. A lot of people didn't do that, you know, and it's not discussed at the living room table. It's not. You know what I'm saying? But right now is a good time for everybody to start educating yourself. And it's deeper than 5 years. It's deeper than 10 years. It's deeper than 15 years. You know, it is. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than Donald Trump. It's deeper than that. It's very, very deep. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, America is so against the wall, right? America is foundation is so shook that these countries were able. They're right now. They're probably not right now, but they were in the position to make these weapons. You know, to try to do what? Attack America, because they do not want freedom. They don't want the freedom of religion. See, in America, you got the freedom of religion. You got the freedom of speech. A woman can vote. A man can vote. You know what I'm saying? America has changed since the 1950s and the 1940s. America has changed for the better because everybody got equal rights. A whole lot of different nationalities are in America right now. America is very, very diverse. And guess what? A lot of these countries over there, Chad, they can't stand that. Why they can't stand it, Stock Sniper? They can't stand it because in their world, in their religious world, it's against God. That's what we got to realize. It's deep. It's deeper than Donald Trump. Them people, they do not want, particularly the Ayatollah, they do not want, he did not want that country to be, that country to adopt democracy. They didn't want that country, he did not want them to start, because once a country starts adapted to the way of life, now religion comes in about. Well, what religion you study? Next thing you know, the countries over there won't be Islamic. They will be wanting to be Christians. See, it's deep. It's very, very deep. While we over here not believing in God, a lot of people don't believe in God, don't believe in Jesus, don't believe in this, don't believe in that in America. See, over here, America's in shambles, bro. The foundation of America is in shambles. The religion and what the religion beliefs of America and Christianity is in shambles. But in these other countries, they've been building, not only financially, but they've been building spiritually. And it's all fueled by their spirituality. We got to understand that. And guess what they'll do? They will kill themselves. It's called a suicide bomber. They will kill themselves. And we know that already. It could be a whole lot of people. If the target is to cause damage, cause fear against American democracy, that is your mission by Allah. Guess what? They're going to do it. And then guess what's going to happen? They have been raised like that since knee-high to a grasshopper, that when I go to Allah, I'll be greeted with 50 virgins. They ain't Stock Sniper, you talking all in left field. Hey, it's the absolute truth. Y'all better start listening to the OG. Over here on Stock Sniper TV, you're going to get the real and you're going to get it uncut. You got to understand that. It's deeper than Donald Trump. It's deep. We're talking about the history and the foundation and the fundamentals of what it is to be an American, what it is to be a Christian, what it is to be a Muslim, whatever religion you believe in. It's deep. It's deep. And guess what? America foundation is cracking. It's cracking. Financially, emotionally, spiritually, religious. Everything is cracking. So many people don't believe in God no more. The preachers of America is leading with what? Prosperity instead of helping people. America's in shambles, chat, and guess what? They know it. They know it. They know it. They know it. That's why they said, if we don't get them now, if we don't take care of them right now, guess what's going to happen? This might be their last chance. That's why they tried to assassinate Donald Trump. That's why. It's deeper than Donald Trump. It's a system. This whole system of America has changed. Why do you say that, Stock Sniper? Because black people are able to vote now. It's a whole diverse thing going on in America. America is the cream of the crop. We got to understand that. Oh, we got a super chat. I've been talking so much. I'm sorry I missed you. I think that looks like my boy ATM Tim by the picture. Yeah, it is. Appreciate you, ATM Tim. Thank you for supporting the show. You are the sponsor of the show. Appreciate you for rocking with me. We love and we appreciate you over here, ATM Tim. So yes, Chad, what we got to realize is deeper than Donald Trump, bro. It's deeper, it's deeper, it's deeper. It's deeper than Donald Trump. It's deeper than Joe Biden. It's deeper than Kamala Harris. It's deeper than Jasmine Crockett. It's deep. And once we realize that as a people, and we start coming together, and we start realizing it, and we start really, really searching for knowledge, guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna come together, because it's all about the people. You got them over there in Iran chat. Guess what they do? If it's people in Iran that want American democracy, they want what we got. They want to be, I said yesterday, they want to be able to get on the internet. They can't. They want what we got over here. We spoiled, bro. We are spoiled. That's why they come over here and they come up in 29 seconds. That's why they come over here, they come up in 29 seconds. They get all kind of benefits. Because America knows they gonna do what they supposed to do. They gonna come over here, it's gonna be about 20, 30 of them in a house, and they all gonna work, and they gonna build. That's what goes on. We spoiled, bro. So, but the thing is, we have to understand that this is bigger than Donald Trump. It's bigger than Donald Trump. It's bigger than Donald Trump. And that's exactly what it is. It's bigger than that. And if you don't think it is, if you think I'm just talking bubblegum, keep on living and keep on watching. Keep on living, keep on paying attention. Not to me. Pay attention to what's going on in the world. Pay attention to what's going on in America. Pay attention to what they say when they're talking. Pay attention. This is the perfect time to sit down with your kids at the table and start paying attention to what's going on. When they start talking about Epstein files and start talking about all that stuff, man, that's all a big cover up. It might be true, but guess what? That really don't matter. What matters is what's going on in America. That's what matters. What position your kids gonna be in? What position your grandkids gonna be in? That's what matters. That's what matters. And what matters is 3 or 4 generations down your family tree. That's what matters. Because if we really just pay attention, all these leaders, all these people, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 generations down the line. Ayatollah's son is the leader right now. The other guy, the other Iranian leader that Ayatollah beat out, his dad was the leader of Iran. His grandpa, China, his daddy, his grandpa, was the leader of those countries. And guess what that means? Generational knowledge getting passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. Them people, bro, don't have to go to Google. Yeah, I'm about to go in right now. Them people don't have to go to Google. Think about this for a second, people. Those people, think about this for a second, chat. Those people overseas, do you think they have to Google their history? Do you think they have to Google what's been going on in their country for 100 years? Do you think they have to Google that? No, they don't. The Ayatollah's son, the one that's taking over Iran right now, he don't have to Google anything. His daddy, his grandpa, his mama been giving him the game ever since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. That's what we away from in America. We're away from foundational families teaching and teaching and showing younger generations how to move. Not just how to move, but we got, in America, we got the younger generations that absolutely talk bad about the older generation. How are you supposed to learn anything? How are you supposed to learn about your history if somebody older than you is trying to tell you, but you don't want to listen because you think, oh, they old. Oh, they old. See, that's what go on in America. That don't go on over there. You think the Ayatollah's son, who is now the president, the king of the throne, you think that he was going against his daddy? No, he was not. He was looking at his daddy for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on how we're going to run our family, run our city, run our country. And you're going to do what? If I'm gone and I get knocked off like he did, you're going to take what I done taught you, since knee-high to a grasshopper, and you're going to do what? You're going to lead. So, man, bro, it's deep. It is deep. I'll be here all day explaining how deep it is, Chad. But I believe, well, we have to really think. America is not, we talk about the economy, which is very important. But what about families of generations? Some people don't even know who their grandpa is. Some people don't even know who their great-grandpa is. Some people don't even know who their daddy is. Some people don't even know who their mama is. It gets deep. So it's a whole lot of, it's a big percentage of America, probably not big, but it's a nice chunk of America that don't even know their history. Don't even know. So they don't comprehend when people start talking about sleeper cells. They don't comprehend to that. They do not comprehend to a family of generations that's saying death to America, and they teaching their kids death to America from knee-high to a grasshopper. It's hard to comprehend. You got 4, 5 generations of Islamic terrorists screaming death to America, death to America, death to America. From great-great-grandpa to great-grandpa to grandpa to son. And then the thing is, the way they got it set up, the Ayatollah, he probably got about 5 wives and probably got about 30, 40 different kids. The one that, his son, the one that they made president right now, I'm quite sure he has about 5 or 6, 10 kids. And guess what? They're all being raised one way. They're being raised as far as biblically, and they're being raised militarily for one thing: death to America, death to Israel, death to the West, or anybody that's against our morals and principles on how we interpret the Quran. That's what it's about. I explain this so like a 9th grader can understand it. And it sounds ridiculous. It do. It's gonna sound ridiculous to a lot of people, but it is the truth. And that's exactly what it is. And if you don't believe me, keep watching. And if God keep waking you up every single morning, and you keep living and you keep watching and you keep learning, you're gonna see we're in a crucial time in America right now. Real crucial. Real crucial. Mainly because we are divided. We're divided. Not just the country, but families and households, communities, churches, religion. A lot of people don't even believe in God in America no more. A lot of people don't read the Bible. Some people don't pray. And that's just what it is. So America is like a house with bad foundation in every area you can think of. Not just the debt, not just the American debt, not the fact that we are in debt. That's just 25% of what's going on with the foundation of America. That's only 25% of what's going on with America. And guess what? All those, man, it's the perfect time. That is like a football team. And you playing Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. But Tom Brady is hurt. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? Gronkowski ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? As an example, this the time for us to beat the champion and take him off the throne right now. Because if we don't do it right now, while Tom Brady is hurt and Gronk is hurt, we know we ain't gonna be able to beat him. That's the same thing. And so when the intelligence tell the American government, hey man, the threat is worse than what you could think of. It's worse now than what it's ever been before. Because while our foundation been off, they've been building. They've been building. So we got to understand that. Those leaders of the overseas, they are more wealthier than anybody you can think of in America. Why do you say that, Stock Sniper? Because they've been investing in crypto since 1990. That's the reason why. They've been believing in crypto and those cryptocurrencies way since the 90s. We got to understand that. So they are super, super wealthy. And in my opinion, Bitcoin went up to 120 something thousand. Now it's right around 70,000. Those dudes are making moves. In other words, they selling and they investing. They selling, they investing. They selling and investing in other things, which is missiles, which is their military artillery, a high level. Why, Stock Sniper? Because AI is coming. I heard a person try to tell me that there's no way a missile gonna be able to make it to America. Bro, it's AI. The development of AI and technology. And they've been working on this ever since Kennedy was the president. We got to understand that. They've been working on these things longer than most of us been alive, chat. Why, Stock Sniper? Because they passing it down from dad to son, from grandpa to dad to son, to grandson to great-grandson. We got to understand that. It's deep. And they also they know how to use our democracy against us because they've been studying us for generations, generations, and generations. When you have a grandpa studying you, his time is do nothing but pray and study. You got a great-grandpa studying you. You got a grandpa studying. Well, no, you got a great-great-grandpa studying you. Then you got a great-grandpa studying you. Then you got a grandpa studying you. Then you got the dad studying you. Then you got the son studying you. You know how many years that is? That's 300 or 400 years of gathering information and passing it down from son to generation to generation to generation. That's exactly what it is. It's generation of passing down knowledge. The family knowledge on whatever it might be. The enemy, in this case, the enemy. They've been studying us. So that man that's the president right now, the Ayatollah son, he got so much knowledge, wisdom, and understanding about the foundation of America. And the thing about him is they say he don't talk a lot. He really don't talk at all. So the person, a person or a kid that all they do is listen and they don't talk much, they got a whole lot of information. A whole lot of that. A lot of people say, see, in America, when you have a kid that don't talk, a kid that's always quiet, a kid that's always social, that's not social, that just, babies basically don't say nothing, that don't talk at all in America, they call those kids slow. You know that, right? In America, if a kid don't talk that much, he's a quiet guy or girl, he be up by himself, he mind his own business, he don't talk that much. In America, they're gonna look at you like you slow. See, that's the thing. But in these other countries, A guy that ain't saying nothing but learning all this stuff from his grandpa, his dad, his great grandpa, and all he do is listen. Like my grandpa used to tell me. My grandpa used to tell me, boy, silence is golden. You shut your mouth and you listen and you learn. The things that matter, you keep it in your memory. The things that don't matter, you kick it to the curb. That's what my grandpa used to tell me. Silence is golden. So right now, this guy who is the new president, he knows, he has 200-300 years knowledge that's been passed down through generations. Not no damn Google search. Which in America, we're lacking that. It's a small percentage of Americans that has that type of knowledge passed down through 5 or 6 generations. Most of us in America, we gotta Google search stuff, but they don't. So man, it's deep. It's deep, chat. It's deep. It's deep. So if I'm getting knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from my successful grandpa, my successful great-grandpa, my successful dad, my successful uncle, and then I'm successful, so I'm teaching it to my son and my grandson. Guess what's gonna happen? I don't have to go to the Google to look up too much of nothing, especially when it comes down to what's already been instilled in me. I don't have to question it. Why? Because it's been passed down to me before this internet was even created. And that's what we gotta understand. America foundation is all messed up, bro. And it's bigger than the US debt. People that are invested in the stock market, people that are invested in the real estate, people that are invested in the things they know, like, and trust, they can give 2 fucks about it in the US debt. People that are invested in the Bitcoin and the crypto, people that are invested into their education can give a fuck about the US debt. That's what y'all gotta understand. Everybody wanna talk about the US debt, the US debt, the US debt. People that's earning, spending less, and making proper investments, they not worried about no US debt. They're not. And that's what we gotta understand. That's what we gotta understand. Once we understand that, and once we understand it's about growth and development, we'll be a lot better. And it's we the people. Once we come together, once these younger guys start to listen to these older, mature guys, once these younger guys start figuring it out, that the knowledge and the wisdom come from the upline, not off Google. Once we understand that, and you start learning from yourself with the stock sniper, I ain't never had my daddy, I ain't never had my mama, I ain't never had, well, you gotta find you a good church. You better find you a good mentor, not on the internet, but in real life. You know somebody that's older than you that's putting it down. You know somebody that's over you that's mature. You know somebody that's older than you that's living life. So you have to change circles. Sometimes your best mentors and teachers be outside of your household. A lot of people don't have, a lot of people wasn't raised like that. They have a successful grandpa, a successful dad, a successful mom. So you have to know what you want, and it's called growth and development, and you got to build proper relationships. That's what you got to do. It might be a teacher. It might be a pastor. It might be the next door neighbor. But you got to get an older mentor that got his shit together, that can give you a basic foundation of life, not on the internet. We got to understand that. And may God bless you if you're starting from that position. But it's going to be hard for you. But you can put the work in. And that's what it's all about, putting the work in. And you can put the work in. We just got to stay off the internet, stay off the blogs, stay away from the mess and the gossip, stay off Netflix, and understand I got something I got to take care of. I got to build a foundation of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so I can teach it to my kids and grandkids, because I know that my mama and daddy ain't teach me nothing. So I have to find me a good mentor, not on the internet, but in real life. Then you teach it to your kids and grandkids. And guess what? You can start at any age. I don't care if you're 50 or 60 years old. We just seen Mr. Tenderism. We just seen Mr. Tenderism revamp his whole life over relationships that he built in a short amount of time, and the man's 70 years old. So it takes time, but you have to want to do it. You have to want to build you a strong foundation for you and your family. And you have to understand how the system works. Not just the American system, but the world system. You got to understand that. And it's built on generations of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Kids, listen to your daddy. If your dad is successful, meaning that he go to work, he take care of the bills, he go to church, he praise God, he a good man, he teaching you in the right direction, you gotta listen to him. You gotta listen to him. You gotta do what I say. Close your mouth. Silence is golden. And listen to all the wisdom that you can get, because you're gonna need it. Why? Because you gotta teach it to your kids and grandkids. We have to understand that. It's deeper than Donald Trump. It's deeper than Donald Trump. We gotta understand that. So with that being said, I gotta go, chat. With that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. I walked for 2.5 miles, 5-mile run, because I had to punish myself from yesterday. 5-mile run, 2.5-mile walk. And we done. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all, chat. Everybody that's been rocking with the channel, I love and I appreciate y'all. This is the Freedom of Speech channel. You can come over here and speak your opinion. It's all good. You can come over here and tell me what you think. Not just me, but the chat. It's all good. Because this is the Freedom of Speech channel. And I'm your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. But pay attention to what I told you. Pay attention. But the main thing, think about it. Think about what's going on. Because it's bigger than Donald Trump. It really is. Listen to the OG. One of these days you're going to say, man, that old man that be walking and exercising, I didn't understand what he was saying 10 years ago. But that man was right. And hopefully if God say the same, in 10, 15 years, I'll still be here doing this. Because if God wake me up every single morning for the next 10, 15 years, I'm still going to be exercising. I'm still going to be teaching and learning. I'm still going to be saying life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I'm still going to be doing it. If God say the same. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. Oh yeah, one more thing. When it comes to life, I got to go after this for real. When it comes to life, you got to look at life generations. You got to look at life 4, 5 generations down the line. You got to think about your kids. You got to think about your grandkids. You got to think about your great-grandkids. You got to think about your great-great-grandkids. You got to think about your family, because your life and my life, it only carries on through family that's behind us. Whatever I do in my life, what my kids and grandkids think about me is going to carry on through them. What I think about my grandpa, who I talk about all the time. What I think about my great-grandpa, who pictures on the wall in my office, who I talk about all the time. They still live because they live through me. Why is that, Stock Sniper? Because they taught me everything that I know. That's why. And I get to do what? Teach it to my kids and grandkids. And it goes on and on. This is a generational thing. That's exactly what it is. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. To the next one, I'm out.